is right here.
That's right.
We're to help. Okay? But under no circumstances, see, black people get caught up in wanting to be atheists, but then give away your culture.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm here to make sure that those who are wanting to be atheists because they feel in their heart is something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? That I feel that with something that makes some sense. I give them back their culture. Now, we have black people fighting that. Even as atheists, we get comments from people fighting that.
Exactly.
Why you guys got to talk? Wait a minute now. Why what? Right? It's a lot of black people suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome.
That's right.
And post-traumatic slave syndrome does not allow you to see the truth through your eyes. It makes you see the truth through the eyes of your oppressor.
That's right.
Okay? Plain and simple.
And black folks, believe me, you do have an oppressor. Do not be deceived by their seductive political science. They have an agenda, believe me. You're just not aware of it.
But watch this. Their own people get oppressed.
All right.
I'm not saying that white people or European people or Chinese don't get oppressed. That's not saying that. I'm speaking up against the oppression.
Right.
And since I'm here sent for my people, I specifically speak on the oppression of my people. What is wrong with that? I'm telling you right now, I understand that all people get oppressed.
Right.
I get that. I'm not a dummy sitting on a rock.
And that reminds me of something Khalid Muhammad said, and I'm not targeting one particular group. I'm just going to give examples, and y'all take it how y'all want to. He said when he went to Mecca, you had the white Muslims on top and the black Muslims on bottom.
That's right.
In America, you have the white capitalists on top and the black capitalists on the bottom. So therefore, in the gay community, you got the white gays on top and the black gays on bottom.
At least be on top.
And if you're not careful, you have white atheists on top and no black atheists at all. But if there are any black atheists, they'll be on the bottom.
You know what? I guess what we're saying is you're not going to allow us in the good old atheist club.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I get that.
Right.
I get that.
And we're not begging for acceptance.
No, we're not begging
Absolutely.
for acceptance, but
Right.
we're going to stand strong on what we know. So really, what I really wanted to talk about was going back to God. Now, last week we did that show. You got any more comments to read? A couple more, because we want to make sure.
Okay.
Each show
I'll do
read
one
these
more.
comments, so we welcome your comments.
Because I'm anxious to get to
Go ahead.
culture there. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
This show is divide and roll to get the atheists fighting amongst themselves. The real show, Atheist Experience, is just about promoting atheism.
Good.
These guys are like, hey, I'm black. I feel inferior. Let's make a black atheist show. It creates conflict and problems. Divide and conquer. I would be surprised if these presenters were actually Christians and are just doing this to try to derail the real shows such as the Atheist Experience. And that's coming from
once
Vice.
again, you can come to a time where it was illegal for black people to play basketball.
That's right.
Right or wrong. Illegal to play baseball and illegal to play football.
That's right.
Right or wrong. Now, within the game of basketball, it was illegal to dunk.
That's
Because
right.
when they allowed the African Americans in basketball, they immediately start dunking. It's an easier shot.
Right.
It's a high percentage shot to dunk. Whereas
Right.
though their counterparts before them didn't even think about dunking.
Right.
Or couldn't dunk.
Couldn't jump.
Right? And so they banned dunking.
That's right.
Okay?
That's
so
a
now all of a sudden we're allowed to be atheists now, right?
Right.
And then we come in with, wait a minute, let's see what ancient civilizations said what God was. And we present this information.
Right.
And the first guy that you wrote, he wrote me saying, well, prove that
Right.
that the black man was God. I don't have to prove that. The statues are there.
That's
Now,
right.
whether you want to put something behind that, I'm not spooked out. And everybody know me? No, I'm not.
That's
I'm
right.
saying is the only representation that's on the planet that was God originally was the black man, and everything in nature represented God, according to African culture and civilization. Everything around us represented God or represented the great teacher. Basic. I just wanted to make that, that clear. And so now you're telling me that if we tell the truth, we're going to have atheists fighting amongst themselves.
Right.
Wow, so maybe we should just not tell the truth and just stand back in the background?
No,
maybe?
we should just follow white mainstream atheists and keep our mouth shut.
And just shut up.
You know, what we're talking about here is what I call severe cultural misorientation. Severe cultural misorientation. And the Black Atheist Network is here to reorientate our people. We're not here to reorientate white people or any other people or rehabilitate any other people. Black people are suffering the post-slavery stress disorder. And we offer a remedy for that. We offer a solution to that because we understand the harmful effects of religious dogma and religious indoctrination. Okay? And we look to our history, our social values, our rituals, our customs to solve those problems. We don't look to white people for those problems because when we point out the role they play in causing those problems in the first place, we don't need to look to you for solutions to our problems.
Oh, hell, I'll point out the role that we played, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
and our demise.
Absolutely.
All day long. I'm not running from the truth.
No,
Right.
You know, if I got to mention some African kings that participated in the slave trade, I'm going to do that.
absolutely.
That's right.
But I'm going to also say, well, they wasn't doing it before that little tap came on their shoulder.
That's right.
Right. I want to read one more comment and we
Read
can
that
get
comment.
into the lesson. Comes from Atheists Records. This is a real black atheist right here. Black African power for real. There is a difference between black atheists and white atheists, and those brothers in the video are directly on point. I'm subscribing to this channel. I love it. Finally, a Afrocentric perspective on atheism.
And that's all it is.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
You know, we just dunking.
Peace.
We just going through the hole and switching up and switching hands.
That's all it is.
You know we don't just shoot straight jump shots. Y'all know that. We put the flavor, the soul energy. That's why we say black African power, because it's soul energy.
That's right.
You know? So let me jump right into it. Still with this. Because we ain't talking about the mother. Okay?
Oh, got to talk about the mama.
Got to talk about the mother. Now, we talked about God, but we didn't give you yet last week the original God. You thought we did, but we didn't. So let me jump on this real fast. Right? And you tell me, if it is a God, it would have had to been the black woman that gave birth to the whole world population, now wouldn't it?
Pretty much.
So let's jump right in. Dealing with these original people. After migrating out of Africa and then moving on to the Near East, Asia, and later Europe, this single species began splitting apart at the onset of a series of ice ages around 150 million or earlier. 900,000 years ago, as noted above. Timeline will be updated relative to new findings and techniques. Out of this African branch of Homo erectus or Homo ergaster species developed what is considered modern Homo sapiens. These true humans, when we say these true humans, what we're saying is anatomically correct, meaning they look like me and you. Okay? These true humans later migrated back, right, to Europe and began the Cro-Magnon people. The original European branch most probably evolved into Neanderthal, who failed to compete with Cro-Magnon people and became extinct, as did the Homo erectus, Asian speak. Let me go a little sidebar here. Now, we mentioned Neanderthal. Now, do not say I'm a bigot because of this statement. Google it, right? All non-African, original African people, right? When the gene mutated outside of Africa, that's when the mutation took place outside of Africa, mixed with Neanderthal. Is that not a fact?
That is a fact.
That's a fact.
I'm going to say this one more time. All non-original African, when it left and mutated, it mixed with Neanderthal. They found it out. It's in the gene pool. But they clearly state that all non-Africans mix with that. So am I making a bigoted statement? See? No, when they made the statement, it wasn't a bigoted statement. But if I tell the truth, I'm wrong.
Well, you know, they got to hold your hand. We
Oh.
can't be defining stuff. They got to do that for us.
Okay, let me keep going. It said around...
I mean, if you disagree with that, y'all can call in.
Yeah, please call in.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with any one of us, you want to fight with us, you want to go to war with us, that's cool. Call in.
information. Okay, let me keep going. It says around 150,000 migrating Africans were sailing. Say it real slow. Around 150,000 BC, migrating Africans were sailing to central located Mediterranean islands, including Sicily, Malta, and then proceeded to travel by land and west to the Near East and Asia. 100,000, according to geneticist Lucia Carvella. Okay, in the DNA, there is one human race, and it originated in Africa. Very interesting. Let me get you the next page. This one to get good. We can jump on it. It say for additional information on the ancient African dark mother. See, now we're starting to deal with the ancient African dark mother. What I'm telling you is that on the continent of Africa, the first idea, the first concept that was worshipped was the great black mother, or they call it the dark mother. Okay? And so when we start to talk about reproduction,
Right.
okay, we're talking about those original people and the statues, okay, that they showed the world. Okay? Now let me give you one of the oldest statues. It's called Tantan, right, of Morocco. All right? Morocco is in Africa, in case y'all don't know that.
Right. North Africa.
Okay. Go. All right. Okay. Now, whether you like it or not, it's a figurine dealing with fertility.
That's right.
Okay. That dates back around, it claims around 300,000 maybe. Okay. Morocco. Dealing with fertility.
That's right.
You'll find these fertility dolls all over the place. Wherever Africans migrated, they took with them the great black mother,
So
or the dark mother.
they were observing the first scientific system, which is reproduction.
Watch this. It say not only were these true humans, Africans, the first to sail and use technology, but they also appear to have been the first to venerate the African dark mother, right? And the first to use orchid for ritual purposes.
Wow.
Okay, so let's come to another picture of this dark mother. All right. You call it the Venus of Willendorf, right?
Oh yeah, that's very
Grimaldi African brought this. Look at the voluptuous woman.
Oh yeah.
It's a figurine. Okay, dates back maybe 35,000.
Okay.
Okay, still dealing with fertility. She might be pregnant. Okay, look at the peppercorn hair.
Yep. I was just gonna say that. Look at the afro on top.
Okay, it's dealing with fertility. Now, whether they was practicing homosexuality back then, we don't know, but they didn't support it. Meaning they didn't show it in their artifacts.
Right.
Not saying they didn't. What I'm saying is it wasn't at the forefront of the culture. It was the dark mother, and she was the oldest representation of what you're miscalling God.
Right.
Okay, so when I add my culture and say that the first thing that was considered God,
Right.
the great teacher, was the mother. Well, why am I saying that the mother was the first great teacher? Because it's the mother that did what? In those days, picture this.
Children.
There is no television. There's no food markets.
That's right.
The human population is based on what? How they forage for things. And so these women, while the men, you know how we like to do, we rah. So we out hunting.
That's right.
Okay, and so the sisterhood, the dark mothers, are back in the village, and they're foraging. They're looking for fruits, berries,
Right.
and they're figuring out what's good for eating. Okay, what's good for medicinal purposes.
And they're taking care of the children.
And they're taking care of the children.
Right.
And so out of that taking care of the children, you got to communicate with the children. So they developed the first language.
That's right.
Okay, they start to categorize the nuts and the berries and the plants and the herbs. Which ones was good for medicine, medicinal
right.
purposes? You know what I'm saying? What was good for eating?
That's right.
Okay, they developed the pottery. They got the ancient pottery. Okay, and on this pottery, you got certain signs and certain symbols. Written language. So by the time the black man, the black African, came back home, you know, we might have been gone for 4 weeks and brought back a little rabbit. Tom might be hurt, got in a scuffle
Right.
with a buffalo, right? Right?
Right.
And so the great mothers in the village, they take the herbs and they soothe them.
That's right.
Okay, they got the good old pot of yams and greens cooking.
Uh-oh.
You know, they feed the village and we party. You know, out of that experience, and then you know we've been away from our women.
Oh yeah.
You for 4 weeks. And man, boy, after we ate good, them victuals right, sat down, made love to us all night. Out of that experience, we was like, dang, that got to be God. See, because we recognize what heaven is.